Congratulations, Mr. Ng, on Sg Wang Plaza's grand launching of the Tales of the Moon, and also for winning the BrandLaureate BestBrands Awards for the most iconic and renowned mall award for this year. And I love the purpose of this Lantern Parade ceremony to promote the significance of Chinese culture. So can you share more with us about Sungei Wang's initiative on promoting the Chinese culture, and if we can see more of this event in the Sungei Wang Plaza?
Yes, we started this about 5 years ago, and it was an initiative where we would want to relate, because we are in the cultural part, because we are in the tourist belt area, which is also in the Golden Triangle, and we felt that a 45-year, back then was 40 years more, has relevance to link with cultural events of the Malaysia. And while Lantern Walk is the first one we initiated, we have over the years, other than during the pandemic, 2 years we stopped, but we have been growing this event. So this year we will see more than 10 schools participating. Yeah. So, but it is not the only event in terms of cultural event. January this year we started with another one, which is also Chinese culture. It's the lion dance competition. So we work with the Lion and Dragon Association, which is one of the oldest and the most prominent association in this sector. And we have already done our first one, and we'll be doing our second term coming January next year. So, other than Chinese culture, actually, a few months ago, we also had a batik design competition. So we are building up in this area, hopefully to host at least 4 events, cultural events in the mall. That's to position ourselves in the tourism industry. Of course, we also work with tour companies to bring in. We have a couple of hundred a month, like that before the MCO. So this is all part and parcel of our initial planning to transform the mall. The other thing that we have done is we have identified, of course, partly from its natural evolve of the mall, we see that we have probably the most number of beauty industry players in this mall. You know, from salon, manicure, pedicure, beauty spas, and the products which are distributed nationwide from here and imported. Yeah. So we have positioned that, and we said that we are beauty, and the other one is experiential. Yeah. And there are some overlap there. While it is beauty, experiential is also it's not about just coming in as a shopping mall. Yeah. Because when you do your manicure, when you do your hair, it's also experiential. And we have Camp 5 now. We have this. What is the other one? Plastaka. Yeah. These are all experiential. And we have a big one coming in. Yeah. I would say that would be maybe that would be considered the anchor tenant.
Is that a secret at this point of time?
It's an event center managed by an experienced operator.
Well, I see a lot of exponential growth since the refurbishment, and there's also a lot of new initiatives. I saw the beauty and also lifestyle experiential that Sungei Wang is building and creating a livelihood for a lot of generations different generations. I see in the mall it's crowded with different generations. So one thing that I want to know also is because this year Sungei Wang Plaza has also received the BrandLaureate BestBrands Award for the most iconic.
I think this is the second time we are receiving it.
First time was in early of the 2000s.
Yes,
2006. Second time after well, now you're going into the pandemic, right?
Yeah.
So how do you feel, the 45 years of legacy that Sungei Wang has? How do you feel receiving this award?
I'm glad that we were considered and we actually was awarded because it is a timely award where we have just completed last year our close to 60 million renovation that we have spent over a few years. But this is nothing new to Sungai Wang. I have been here since my childhood and we have seen the transformation. We've seen the differences. Yeah. Every decade there are different type of shoppers. In the 70s, 80s, is because it was almost the only mall, probably for a long time. So you see people coming even from Klang, from further apart. Yeah, now with the residential malls all very established, they only come to KL, not just Sungai Wang. They only come to KL for a certain purpose. Right? So Sungai Wang has to transform, and Sungai Wang have been able to transform. Yeah. That's why up until 7-8 years ago, our footfall was as good as any of the big malls. Yeah. We had some problem for many years, but I think we are really on the road to recovery. It's not an immediate recovery, but the direction that we have taken, the mall, I think it's things are coming together quite nicely for us.
Well, one thing that I picked up from what you shared is that how you pivot even during this time of pandemic. How has Sungai Wang also contributed to the community growth and also assisted in all of these businesses?
Our commitment into more cultural events and so to engage more NGOs, we will make ourselves relevant to a certain extent.
Okay, right. I think just now also you shared about how the transformation through generation and how right now through the pivot, having more cultural sense, bringing more tourism, and I feel like this in a way also helps Malaysia as a brand. When tourists come over, when they come over to also visit KL, and Sungei Wang Plaza is actually one of the places that I saw a lot of celebrities recently. A celebrity that came here for one of the
yeah, that was really a surprise. It wasn't something that we were really expecting.
But that was amazing.
Yes.
How attractive Sungei Wang Plaza is, and wow,
it's a God gift, and with the new event space, we probably have a lot more artists coming in.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, that's a bit like going back to what we used to have, right? Because 20-30 years ago, any foreign artists they would come to Sungai Wang. And I met local artists that told me, hey, actually, I'm glad Sungai Wang invited me back as an MC because actually my first time on stage as an MC 30 years ago, it was Sungai Wang back then. So a lot of people actually have fond memories. Yeah, and some of these people, these business operators who seize the opportunity now, they themselves can connect with Sungai Wang. So that relationship makes a difference, and we hear that not just from the Chinese ethnic, even from Malay artists, we get this kind of response. So we have to ride on it, right? That's one little advantage we have over others. So we work on that.
I mean, I love the cultures, and that brings me actually to my last question. I think just now we talked about the 45 years of legacy Sg Wang Plaza, and definitely I grew up listening to my parents, and also bringing me on weekends and visits. So with the refurbishments of Sg Wang Plaza, right? I think just now we talked a little bit about what shoppers can expect, which is the beauty side and the lifestyle side, and also the events part of experiential side of the whole Sg Wang Plaza. And also I'm very curious, and all of us here are curious, what would be the next 45 years look like for Sungei Wang Plaza?
No, I think for Sungai Wang, if you say 45 years, I think every 10 years we have to relook into the plan and say how are we going to transform, how are we going to adapt to the new environment. The only advantage we have, the only difference we have with residential malls is we are in the tourist belt. We are in the Golden Triangle, and we are now enhanced with the accessibility because of the mass transit. Ever since the MRT it's in operation, actually we see our footfall coming back. We are organizing events that is relevant to the youth in Klang Valley and KL Selangor, which has already population of 8 million, 9 million, right? And our populations are mainly very young, 30 and below. So with the mass transit, actually they are not worried with traffic jams. Right? So the easy accessibility along, and we are in the center of that whole thing. So it's easy for them to get to Sungai Wang. So having events like this will actually attract them coming from all over the place. Short of car park is not a complaint, right? It's not a disadvantage. So and having traffic jam is no more an excuse not to come. As long as it's something that they have interest in, right? Youngsters will come. Yeah, because we are offering something that they can't get in the residential area. So there's a niche for everyone. Residential malls have their role to play, and we can play a different role. We can still be relevant if we do it right.
I truly love and appreciate you, Mr. Ng. Thank you so much for also investing not just in Sungei Wang Plaza, but also investing in the future of generations. I feel like that is something very impactful also. And thank you so much for your throughout this journey and also sharing with us. So that's it for our interview. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.